feel it. Like if you're
70 is the normal speed.
Yeah, if you're accelerating gradually, which I can only assume it was, he wasn't just flooring it.
Yeah.
You don't really feel it. Like if you're in a car, or even when you're in a plane, you don't feel it. You don't feel how fast it's going if it's a gradual acceleration. You just kind of feel it when you stop abruptly. That's how you feel the acceleration. But I don't know. I can only imagine that they didn't feel that it was going too fast because it was a gradual, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and this is where we are,
Well, and it's way early in the morning, which probably had played a role in how he was nodding off, but, okay, this is your shift.
Now, I wonder with him, and now
he has hired an attorney, and a lawsuit is going to happen.
And I think his nodding off, which he came out and said he said he was nodding off, could be a play by the attorney to maybe lesser the charges.
I don't see how.
Well, with nodding off, you can argue a few different things. You can argue he didn't get enough sleep.
Right.
He's got some, he has a physical problem. He can't fall asleep at night. The hours got switched up on him. He, was mentally distressed or something like that, Meanwhile, if he said, I wasn't nodding off and I was just going 82 around a 30 because that's the kind of guy I am, he's going to get in a lot more trouble.
Okay. But at the end of the day, it's basically the general consensus this was human error. This was not a mechanical problem. And 4 people died, so he obviously is to blame, and he will be at the center of a lawsuit as all of this stuff comes out.
He's in trouble. I just wonder if the way the way maybe his attorneys are telling him to go and act about it is going to maybe lesser the trouble.
Now, what about this particular spot? Because a freight train earlier, I think it was either this summer or sometime last year, around this exact same curve, it wasn't carrying any people, also derailed.
Well, I mean,
I think that we also really need to look at this spot, this area in the Bronx.
That's fair. That's more than fair. Maybe, slow it down. Maybe fix the curve. Who knows? I mean, and like you said, it's generally right now accepted as human error, but possibly it could just be the curve of the track is just too much. I mean, Jesus, going at 82 miles an hour around a 30-mile-an-hour curve is never a good idea.
Right.
But maybe the curve is just too much to handle.
It is very, very scary because, like I said, we ride the Metro North train
all
the time. And it really, the first time I do now, and it won't be until we come back, it's going to be a little bit uneasy for me. Because it's like you're putting yourself in someone else's hands. That's the same with flights. I get a little bit uneasy on flights because
that's fair.
How do you know that this pilot or this conductor... Oh, I think about it all the time.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You see, you never think about it until something like this happens.
It causes you to think about it. Well, there was something that came out several months ago that they were going to pass some sort of, I don't even know what to call it, that pilots shouldn't have their cell phones with them in the cockpit to distract them. And that surprised me, like, that's not already a thing?
There's something about...
I have to turn my cell phone off for us to take off, but yours can be with you when you're doing the takeoff?
You know what? You never hear, though, and in defense of, bus drivers and train conductors and pilots, you never hear about the successful flights, the successful train passages.
Well, because there's hundreds and hundreds, yes.
Yeah.
The chances of you being in a plane crash are far less than something like a car accident or
just think
many
about
other
how many
things,
personal,
but people worry about that.
Yeah, personal vehicles have, been in
I mean, you get in a car every single day.
Right. So you would assume mass transit is safer than...
Right.
Personal.
And, this is just... But the timing of all of this, too, is a little bit sensitive. We just got through the holidays.
Yeah, it's
For something
rough.
that to happen right now is,
it's never good.
Very tragic.
It could happen in the middle of July, but of course now is a little more.
Right. So those are really the two big stories over the weekend that we missed.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been a relatively slow news week.
It has.
Would you say?
Nothing's really... it's
and now
close
it's
to
going
the
to pick up.
holidays,
You should never, ever say that. When I was at ABC...
Tonight, what's going to happen tonight now?
I'm not kidding. When I was at ABC, they said, don't ever say that. And my executive producer that I worked with on the day of the Boston Marathon bombings, earlier that day, said, it's really quiet. Nothing's really going on. And then that happened. So it's really, you're not supposed to say that at all. So I take it back.
Well, okay.
My mistake.
Here's something that I think is just just got released today.
Okay.
Or at least more of them just got released today. The 911 calls.
Yes.
From Sandy Hook.
Mm-hmm. I just got a banner on my phone. They said the dispatchers were calm, and I said out loud to myself, well, you would want them to be.
They're paid to be calm.
Yes.
That's their job, is to be calm. It's good that they're calm.
I don't think that's newsworthy.
No. See, now the thing is, a lot of people are saying, oh, maybe they shouldn't release them, this and that. But they release them for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be insensitive about it. I don't want to be insensitive about it because, God, it happened around now. When was it? The 20th?
December 14th.
The 14th. I mean, it's very sensitive, and it's obviously one of the biggest tragedies we've had.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I think it's important.
I don't think it's wrong to not.
Yeah, I think you need to release them.
They release them for everything. Yeah. You have the right to listen to them or not listen to them.
Right.
And some people are interested in hearing them. But as far as saying the dispatchers were calm, of course they were calm. That's what they're paid to do.
That's their job.
Could I be calm in that situation?
No, that's why I'm not.
Absolutely not. That's why I'm not a.
I would be freaking out,
emergency room
man.
dispatcher.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they keep it together.
Yeah.
Props to them. I mean, geez.
Also, that came out this week, the Pope had kind of an interesting backstory before he was Pope.
The Pope of the people.
Now, this is Pope Francis, as we know, and he was once a bouncer at a nightclub.
Good for him.
In Argentina, where he's from. And
he really is the Pope of the people.
He announced that earlier this week and then didn't really say anything else about it. And everybody's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
The Pope did what? I mean, you have to think, though. They had lives before he was the vicar of Christ, and he also swept floors and ran tests in a chemical laboratory.
Good for him. I mean, you learn everything about this guy one at a time, and it comes out randomly.
I like this Pope. I like this guy. He really is trying to be the Pope of the people.
He is the Pope of the people.
I liked when it came out, there was those really stunning images of when he was hugging that man that had... I only know this because of Grey's Anatomy, which is terrible, but when you have the things all over your face that are contagious.
Oh, yes.
All over your body. I don't know what it's called. I'll have to look it up, but he just embraced him totally. And you have to think, of course, you're the Pope. You have to do something like that. Can you imagine if he didn't?
Yeah.
And was more hesitant like the rest of us would be? That would have been a huge controversy.
I mean, you got to be something special to be the Pope.
Yep.
But he's making the best of it. He's killing it.
I do. I like him as Pope because
he's not only doing it well within the Catholic community, but on the outside.
Other people.
Yeah, a lot of people are taking notice of the things he's done.
There was a quote I wanted to read that I really, really liked that I put in this email, and he said, "I prefer a church which is bruised, hurting, and dirty because it has been out in the streets, rather than a church which is unhealthy from being confined and from clinging to its own security." I like that.
That's a great quote.
Talking about you have to be out there, as Christians and as Catholics. You can't... So many people like to wear their religion on their sleeve and obey, the easy rules, but it's not so easy to go out and get your hands dirty and roll up your sleeves and really help people.
It's not so easy to give up all earthly possessions and be...
Yes.
And give to the poor and do all that. It is easy, though, to go to church every Sunday.
I had an interesting conversation with my aunt over the weekend about how sometimes I think Catholics catch a lot of flack for they like to pick and choose which ones, like no meat on Fridays during Lent is huge. But like we can bend the other ones, like no sex before marriage, like that one not so sure, but do not eat meat on Friday. I mean, that's funny to me.
And you see it not only with religion, but you see it in like politics as well.
Yeah.
Like
good point.
People who preach, constitutionality and we've got to follow everything about the Constitution, First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, blah 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 blah, and then maybe the Patriot Act is okay.
Right.
It's fine to spy on.
Now, with politics, I will say, because with religion, I am a practicing Catholic, you're supposed to either take it all or leave it. You can't pick and choose. But I think in politics, you can. You can say, I'm a social liberal, but I'm conservative in fiscal policy.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
You can pick and choose and identify with different things.
That's fair. However,
religion,
I don't think
you have
you
to
can
take it all.
I don't think you can preach constitutional, rights for one thing and then say, but maybe the other one is more right.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Thank
Good debate. All right, we are going to play another Christmas song.
Let's do it.
What else? Tell me the code again so everyone can hear.
1, 2, 5, 6.
That is 1, 2, 5, 6, everybody. 1, 2, 5, 6. And now, is this Pandora? Because we're at a...
Oh, we're on a commercial there?
We're on a commercial.
Oh, that's awkward.
What is your favorite Christmas song?
My favorite Christmas song? I think it's... I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Christmas Shoes. Without doubt.
Aw.
I love
that one
Christmas
makes
shoes.
me cry.
I love it. It's so cute. It's so Christmas. That's Christmas. Kid can't afford shoes for his mother.
Yes.
Guy in line buys shoes for kid. That is Christmas.
You know what? I have that in my iTunes.
Do it. It was almost Christmas time, and there I stood in another line. Trying to buy the last gift or two, not really in the Christmas mood.
Right, Kenny's going to sing it till I get it queued up.
Standing right in front of me was a little boy waiting anxiously. Can you hurry?
I'm doing it.
Because I'm, just singing here. Pacing around like little boys do in his hands he held a pair of shoes. There it is.
There we go. We'll be right back. And I'll be crying.
It was almost Christmas time. There I stood in a